Hi and welcome back to Virtually the Teacher. Today we're going to be looking at the way that you create space for students to be able to process the information that we present to them. I'm sure we've all been to those brilliant professional development workshops where they give you ideas and concepts and principles and the day is just jam-packed. But there's not really time to kind of think about what we've learned. And as a result, we go back to work the next day and nothing has really translated to make our practice different. If we're honest, we often do that to our students. We just bombard them with information and don't give them that space to think about what it is that we've just presented. And there's a whole lot of reasons for that. We know as teachers we're under immense pressure to deliver a set amount of content in a set time frame, and that forces us to sometimes rush through our delivery. I heard this great expression the other week: teaching without learning is just talking. So we need to be able to present our students with these opportunities and these moments where they can actually learn and reflect upon the content. And most importantly, to think about what does it mean for them. Research studies show that as little as 10% of a session dedicated to active learning can improve student outcomes. That's only 6 minutes in a 1-hour session. Further, some studies show that if the teacher would just stop talking for 60 seconds after, say, a 15-minute time period, the student learning outcomes improved. With all that in mind, let's take a look at the things that we can do to optimize student learning. Now, that's going to start with our lesson design in the first instance. We all know that we design our sessions with the outcome in mind. We're thinking about, by the end of the session, what is it that we want our students to do, know, understand, say differently from when they first started the session. And we're going to try and factor in times throughout the session that allows students to process some of the key information that will get them to that point of difference. Okay, let's look at a couple of quick activities that might work in creating space for students to be able to process the content that you present to them. Now, the first one is from Dr. Barbie Honeycutt, and she calls it the 3-2-1 activity, and it's quite simple. She presents 15 or 20 minutes of content. Then she asks students to write down and reflect on what are 3 things that you learnt from this session? What are 2 things that you already knew? And what's one thing that you might like to try or apply the next time you go back to work or in your learning? The next activity is super simple and doesn't take much time, and it's just a simple translation. So you're asking the students to translate a key term or a key principle from the content you've presented. The last activity suggestion I have is just a simple share and pair. You break the students up into groups of 2 and you get them to work on a definition or an explanation of the content, whatever it is. And you could even include them presenting that back to the class if you want. That's another great way to build their confidence and to enhance their learning. As they say, if you can teach it to someone else, you're going to learn a lot better. So you can see these are simple suggestions. Come up with your own. They don't take a lot of time, but they're so crucial in that student learning element. So that's it for this week, and we'll see you next time on Virtually the Teacher.